Thank you for letting me know I was muted. I appreciate that. Good morning. Good morning. I have my water, I have my coffee, and I've got you guys. Okay, we're all caught up. Everybody, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Join in the chat box. Reminder, if you are watching from Twitter, X, then I will not be able to see your comments live. So just know that if you want to join in the conversation, I would love to get you over here on YouTube where the chat box is. It was not just you, Z. It was me. It was a user error, shall we say. How is everybody's Tuesday looking? I hope that you are having a fantastic day. I want to talk about what's going on the interwebs, shall we? I don't know why I ever choose this coffee cup. It like automatically gets so full that it's almost dangerous. It's a little bit dangerous. But it's so delicious. All right, you sexy thing. Cooperate, please. I would love to show you guys what my computer's doing right now. Come on. I know you can do this. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to just change screens. Okay, so one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is my email today. If you guys are not on my email list, I would love it if you would be. Today's focus of the email, the Bunny Report, is girls' cycles and how hormones affect that. So it is a critical topic that affects everyone, from you, your kids, the way your household is run, you name it, it affects it. Players will tell you from experience, never get butthurt or react to a girl ghosting or blocking you. You don't know what she's dealing with. Girls do sometimes turn back up to get fucked. Absolutely. The worst thing that you can do to kill your chances with a girl is to react harshly if you're rejected in any way, even if she's an asshole about it. Like, the worst thing that you can do is to react negatively to it. It's just not going to get you anywhere that you want to be. Good morning, Tim Hicks. This is awesome. Shot from his backyard. Tim must live like right next to the school or something. It always looks like there's a game going on in his backyard. Add Ryan. This photo was all that was required here. Quickly addressing mid-allegations. Man. He calls it like he sees it. Okay. Oh, hold on. I have a question. Interesting. Is there ever a good time to react harshly at your woman? That is a fantastic question, and I've got an answer. So the only time that girls actually care, whether you are there to teach her a lesson or to like teach her what she's done wrong or instruct her or get onto her, is when she's fucking you, when she's invested in you, and when she clearly is giving indications that your opinion deeply matters to her. One great way to tell this is if she genuinely gets upset, if you are upset with her, even if she only kind of thinks that you're upset with her, and she's immediately like kind of correcting her steps, and you can tell that she's, I can't say it any other way, but kind of sounding parental. But if you can tell that she's upset, thinking you're upset, if you can tell that she's really like trying to do things to kind of correct whatever it was she did or things of that nature, then you know that you've got her hooked, at least for that moment. You've got her hooked, and she is really genuinely concerned about what you think about her. So those girls you can react more strongly with if if she's done something wrong. But I will say, those are also the girls who are going to go out of their way not to do anything that wrong in order for you to come down on them more harshly. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So Playboy was talking more. This is much more about. Let me go back to that tweet so everybody is on the same page here. Yes, exactly. So this is dealing with players, playboys, rapscallions who are running a lot of girls. So, if you're running a lot of women, number one, a couple falling off here and there doesn't matter as much. Two, you don't have to get worried and anxious and all frustrated if one or two don't respond to your coming on to them. And three, you don't bother correcting them because you don't have an investment in them. So don't invest in girls, or don't try and correct girls that you're not invested in to some degree. And be cautious not to be overly harsh in your reactions and responses to girls who are not invested in you. Great questions, Balancer. You got it. You got it. You got it. Ooh. Stephen's story, guys, if you guys wish that you had chosen a career where you could be more location independent, where you could have money to travel and see the world, you could have experiences aside from clocking in and working in a cubicle and clocking out and things of that nature, go find my Bunny interviews with Stephen's story. It was phenomenal. He is an independent adjuster for insurance, and he teaches you how to do the same. It's awesome. So if you aren't already familiar with Stephen's story and his story, please go there, find out. If you need a new lease on life, it would be a great place to start. Great topic. How to correct when you do have one invested. Not easy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. Very good topic. I don't think that that's covered in any of our books at this time either. I can't think of a book that it would be. I would say that that the Book of Dread would be the closest match to that, because it does talk about, utilizing dread in order to keep women on their toes. And oftentimes that can also mean actually correcting them when they do something wrong, when they're invested in you. So I would suggest going to that book. The link is in the description box if you are in YouTube right now. So check out the Book of Dread, and that will help you in that area about correcting women, when to do it, how to do it, and kind of some of the indicators that you have that leeway in her world. Let's see. They all... That's a lot. Life needs more dances in the kitchen. This is one of my favorite pastimes. Dancing around in the kitchen is, I think, such a great pastime. I think it's a great way for couples to just naturally stay connected. And it's not that like every time you ever walk into the kitchen, you strike up a dance. It's just a nice little thing to do when you're feeling playful, when you're feeling a little bit romantic. Dancing in the kitchen together is huge. It can be 5 seconds, or it can be an entire song, or it can be an entire album, just depending on your mood. but it's a great way to stay connected. It's a great way. I talk all the time about, you know, you can't have a strong sex life if you don't touch one another. As ridiculous as that sounds, if you are familiar with touching one another, if you feel comfortable reaching out to one another, if your touch doesn't shock or repulse the other person, then that is a good thing. That means that you will be closer to sexual connection as well. Dancing around in the kitchen goes a long way in keeping that spicy and hot. Okay, just because this has been going and I don't know what it is, but
you listen to me. Stop all the... I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the... I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the... I am your mother.
I love that the fake baby falls out and she steps right on him. Oh, great, great, great. I love you. I love you more. You're my only girl. I got a couple of dudes, but you're my favorite. That's pretty funny. I think it was a fake baby. It looked like a baby doll. And I'm glad that you already own the Book of Dread. I'm glad you already own it. And I'm glad you love it. This is a good topic. This, how to correct your girl. That's one that we do need to cover. We should do that in a podcast or something. That's a great suggestion. I know we've done a podcast about that you can't correct girls who aren't invested in you, but I don't think we've done one aside from the 20-second rule. I don't think that we've necessarily done one about correcting girls who are invested in you. So we need to look into that. Thank you for the suggestion. There are people who live like this. Modern life sucks so much. I wish I could live in the past. Oh my. Oh. Wish you'd have read the Book of Dread 25 years ago. Yeah, seriously. Wouldn't it have just saved so much frustration and trouble? I get it, buddy. I get it. Let's see. Always judge a girl by her Insta. This is going to be good. No friends, narcissist. Absolutely. A girl who has nothing but pictures of herself on her Instagram or likewise, just steer clear. It means that she's attention grabbing. Either she doesn't get along with other girls, or she, is just so incredibly selfish that she's hiding them from everyone. She is definitely a narcissist. Every pose sexy, ho, absolutely. If every pose is about making her figure look as sexual and sexy as possible, you definitely want to steer clear of that. Weird hair color, and I say a natural hair color. This is definitely an indicator that she's not exactly going to be one who plays by the normal rules of game. Overly sculpted eyebrows. It is dumb. Unfortunately, that's very much a trend right now. I think it seems to be going away slowly. I'm so thankful for that. But the problem with the overly sculpted eyebrows is that it kind of goes along with makeup phases. And so that one's a little bit less of a tell that you have to completely stay away from her. Side above angles, a fatty. Yes. Number one, girls love the angle up here because it allows them to be more busty. It gives girls cleavage who don't have cleavage. Otherwise, it's usually a very flattering angle, and it makes them look thin. If all you see is these above angles, these carefully curated angles, then she is definitely overweight. Overly tattooed and pierced, crazy. You've definitely been through some damage if you've covered your body in that. Too much makeup, basic, absolutely. You got your basic bitch right there. If she just wants to fit in with the crowd and do every makeup tutorial that she's ever seen online. Finger tattoos, I don't understand the finger tattoos at all. There's definitely some deep-seated issues running there. Hoe friends, absolutely. You guys, I could do a whole book on how to tell if a girl is, what kind of girl a girl is by the kinds of friends she posts pictures with. This is a huge tell that will impact your life if you get involved with her in any way. This is on the money right here. On the money. Great post. I hope you guys have your coffee because mine is delicious. Let's see. Oh, this always cracks me up. It's not new, but it's still funny. It cracks me up every single time. Zooming in on that girl's butt. It just cracks me up. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so tired of gender reveals. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so ridiculous. I replaced her M&Ms with a hot dog. She would not have just randomly thought that this package, here's what's driving me crazy about it.
That was a glizzy! That was a glizzy!
Even the tubes, even those tubes, M&Ms have a certain sound. They have a certain feel. They don't sound or feel like a hot dog's in it. So it's really getting annoying to me, and I'm sure to you, how many of these like couples accounts seem to feel like everything is staged, and it's just a constant one-upsmanship on gigging one another, but it's all so staged, it's ridiculous. Like, that's just so stupid. It's so stupid. All right, spoken like a true sexless dork. I don't know what that means. I don't really want to go into that. Let's see. Why you should only marry a virgin. Let's talk about this. Why you should only marry a virgin. Let's go through the why they say, and then we're going to talk about it. And this guy, I usually really agree with a lot of the stuff that he puts up, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to disagree with this one, and I'll tell you why. Okay. Why you should only marry a virgin. Much lower chance of divorce. Much less emotional baggage or damage. No STDs. True. Less westernized. True. Better morals and self-control. Maybe. More religious woman. Probably. Less likely to cheat. Possibly. A stronger bond with you. Women lose their pair bonding capacity as they rack up partners. True. Past behavior is a predictor of future behavior. All right. Well, and good point. There's not that many virgins in the world. especially not in Western society, right? And I don't remember where in the world this guy is. So maybe he is somewhere where virgins are more plentiful. But let me just say, and Fort Worth and I did an entire podcast that's called, I think it's called Why Virgins Are Overrated. But the bottom line here is that if you are a guy who is in our neck of the woods, who's running your game, who's dating girls, who, would love to eventually maybe settle down with a nice girl, maybe not. But you're an average guy in the best way possible. Okay. So I'm not using the word average as like a slam, but you are genuinely just a regular guy who wants a regular girl and is enjoying dating or enjoys the hunt, enjoys being in a relationship. If you happen upon a virgin who happens to fall for you, you better step up to the plate and marry that girl, because if you take her virginity, you're locked in on her. I mean, you are obligated from that moment to care for her for the rest of her life. And oftentimes, she's not going to have sex with you before marriage, things of that nature, because it's not necessarily always her own better morals and self-control. It's the fact that she is surrounded by family who does not let her be unsupervised with a man. She doesn't, they have a very strong control over her in a great way. I mean, make no mistake, these kinds of girls come from great backgrounds and things like that, but they don't make the best wives for men not raised in that same kind of environment. Okay. So yes, much lower chance of divorce. Past behavior is a predictor of future behavior. These are true. However, you're likely not the kind of guy who is going to attract this girl. She has a lower chance of divorce specifically because she was raised in that nature where you don't get divorced. She was raised, you stay together forever. She was raised, whatever he does, it's okay. And she was raised and is surrounded by family even once she's married. Like, she's counting on her family staying close. She's counting on your family being close. She's counting on the virgins who are raised in this environment are counting on everyone, that village surrounding her all the time and ensuring that marriage and those families stay tight and committed to one another. So yes, there are certainly benefits. And if you are raised in the kind of environment where a girl losing her virginity before marriage is absolutely taboo, then you were probably raised and you were probably a virgin or have very little experience with women also, which is a great combination, because then you guys get put together, you have a lovely little life, and you guys are not probably watching my videos talking about sex and attraction and running rotations and fucking into a puddle and all of this stuff. You guys aren't watching that video. So we're probably pretty safe here. But we did do a podcast. Fort Worth and I did do a podcast on this. I invite you to check it out. I think it was a good one. It's been a very popular topic, because here's the bottom line. If you're a guy who's running your rotations and dating girls and things of that nature, you also are going to be turned off by the girl who doesn't give it up in the first few dates. And if she truly is morally sound and a virgin, she's not going to fall for it. Why does eating at fast food restaurants make you fat? Tastes and sounds great, but The side effects are never advertised on the package. Oh, Pearly had said, why is marrying a girl considered the right thing when marriage has a 75% failure rate? This might be interesting. Back in the day, getting married used to be like buying a house. You built equity in each other. That's a great way to put it. The two of you built up a reservoir of loyalty and goodwill. This is great. That would smooth out some hard times. If one spouse lost their looks or had some setbacks, the other felt honor bound to hang in there and help them work through it. Divorce was the last option and considered a near tragic outcome. Absolutely. These days, getting married is still like buying a house for the woman. She gets equity, which she can cash out, alimony, primary custody, child support, the house, and so on. But for the man, getting married is like renting an apartment. Exactly. You can make rent and be a perfect tenant for 15 years. But if the landlord, your wife, decides to shut it down, you get evicted and leave without noticing. With nothing. If only I could read. But it is even worse. You get kicked out of the apartment, but you still have to pay rent. Good point. So it's not just the failure rate. It's the one-sided penalty for failure, whether you are actually at fault or not. Last point. This has not happened to me. I was lucky and married a very traditional woman, but an injustice does not need to happen for me to recognize that it's an injustice and speak out against it. That's a very good way to put it. That's a great analogy. I like that even better than the used car analogy. Well said, Scott Moore. I don't know who you are, but I am a fan. You know, and I'm not, to be clear, I know I'm a girl, but I'm also not anti-marriage. I think that aside from what this guy is saying, which is 1000% on the mark, I think one of the biggest problems is people, and he addressed this early on, people absolutely give up too soon. They just give up too soon. And then once they have one divorce under their belt, it gets easier and easier to just continue to give up sooner and sooner. It's no different than building habits and destroying habits. So just like every time you take on an exercise program and you quit an exercise program, it takes longer and longer to get back into exercise. It takes shorter and shorter amount of time each time you get back into exercise to drop that habit again. This is how marriage works also. This is a great analogy. It is not for everyone, but mainly I feel like, and I've talked extensively about the 6 points that I see in saving every relationship. And the primary thing is that most people who have failing relationships have failed one another by immediately becoming lazy as soon as they get into that relationship. They stop prioritizing one another. They allow other things to come between them. Their attention goes elsewhere. They stop trying. They stop fucking, and they stop prioritizing one another. So this is a great way to put this. All right, I'm going to go to my primary page because I've gotten some questions here. Let's see. Let's discuss here. Wife wasn't a virgin. Fort Worth Playboy classic. One high school boyfriend, one in college, and me, I think. Married 28 years and going strong. That is awesome. And that's, I think, a really good way to go. I'm glad you actually mentioned this, YZ, because in that tweet with the list of why to marry a virgin, I did want to address, I'm glad that you circled back to this. It actually benefits women to have a little bit of experience with men, because then they don't feel like they're missing out. they know what's out there. They know they had a little fun before being married, and now they are able to settle down, so to speak, settle into a wonderful family-based marriage relationship and have a great time. Exactly. So that low body count, that is a good thing. Bunny, how long do you need to know a woman before you can tell whether she is promiscuous or not? I'm referring to you personally. I would say there are a lot of tells. I feel like a lot of times you can read things, and I do feel like men are not as good at this as women are. I feel like a lot of times you can read a lot about, back to that social media tweet. Like, you can see if she has nothing but sexy pictures, if she has nothing but sexual images of herself, if she has, if she's always making sure to look made up on social media, if they're sexy pictures, revealing pictures, if the poses are highly sexual, even more for the platform that she's on, she's definitely promiscuous. Because if she's posting pictures like that, she's overly comfortable with her body being in those kinds of states and those kinds of situations. So you can tell that she is a much more promiscuous woman if everything that she does is highly sexualized. Even if, she's posting a sexualized picture, but it's alongside like an inspirational quote or something goofy like that. I see scripture by sexy pictures all the time, and I just want to vomit. But that's a great way to tell if a woman is promiscuous. Oftentimes, you really don't even have to know the woman to be able to tell 9 times out of 10 how promiscuous she is. There are very few girls who genuinely look and behave like sweet, innocent little flowers who aren't genuinely pretty innocent. Everything is relative. I'm not saying they haven't ever had sex or that they are automatically virgins if they appear to be sweet and innocent. I'm just saying she's not being run through by the college basketball team. You can tell a lot by a girl's friends, by her social media presence, and just by the way that she presents herself and speaks to you when she meets you. Even girls who weren't taught proper manners will still be cautious about how they present themselves to you when they meet you. So, or how they're presenting themselves to the world. So you can tell a lot about that in the way that she presents herself. All right, you sexy beasts. I am so glad you joined me today. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in 23 and a half hours right here on Wake Up with Bunny. If you're not already, jump on my email list. Again, that newsletter going out today is going to be all about girls' hormonal cycles and how they will affect you in the long run. They'll affect you. They'll affect your family. They'll affect the way that your wife or girlfriend conducts herself, is productive or not productive. She will absolutely rule your world by her hormonal cycles, and yet she oftentimes, does not even realize the fluctuations that she's feeling. So the things that will affect you the most about human behavior are oftentimes hormonally driven, and you need to know all about it. The other thing, I've got 2 really exciting bunny interviews in the works, and I am super pumped. One is a powerhouse businessman who, from all of my research so far, it appears that he has done most of his money earning in like the cabaret strip club kind of realm. So he's a powerhouse businessman, and he's got some sexy stories. Also, Katie Ivy, she is coming up soon. I am really excited about both of those interviews. She is kind of an up and coming female relationship coach who deals with men. And she has a few unique perspectives that will set her apart from others. So I am excited about our conversation on the Bunny interviews. So pay attention for both of those coming up soon. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Go lift heavy things. Go have some hot sex and go accomplish something. These are the keys to you having a winning day.